So we're going to take the forks off, and to do that we need to get rid of the mud guard, and before I do that I'm going to just put the calipers on a string so that they don't dangle on the brake hoses. Then we need to loosen all the clamp, but before I do that I'm also going to loosen the top off, because they're really difficult to do if the fork legs aren't clamped. So let's get on with it. To hang the calipers up, I've just got a string with a bit of a noose in it, and then I'll just just make sure that you're not hanging them from the hoses, which is the which makes it completely pointless. Just I'll put them through the actual between the pads and around that way, and then find a spot on the top somewhere where that can take the weight. Right, they're open enough, and I'm going to use a 90mm 12-sided spanner. I would love to use a proper 6-sided socket, but it won't fit under the bars, so I'm just going to use that. One fork leg out, needs a clean. Oh yeah, forgot. Brake hoses are still on here. Forkers number 2. We have to make sure we get them the right way, otherwise the bike will ride backwards. I wanted to just show you that these fork legs do come up quite nicely if you give them a little bit of TLC and elbow grease. You can compare one to the other. And yep, they do come up quite nicely. For this I used my trusty WD-40, but also this one, Autoglym Clean Wheels. It's very good for getting rid of brake dust, base dirt and oil and stuff, so this is perfect for this. And yeah, I'm sure you can see that working with this now is going to be a pleasure. I don't have any footage of how I've drained the forks of oil, but basically you unscrew the cap and then in under the spring there you put the 30mm spanner onto this rod that the spring is surrounding, and then you unscrew that bit that has got that bit inside it, and you take the spring out, and that also pops that black plastic spacer, not plastic. Then you basically turn it upside down and you pump this thing until it slides like this. You can hear that there's no oil in there. Be careful not to overextend this too much, because it will pop out and it will come loose, and then you'll have to rebuild the whole thing. So once you got it that easy, then you can start filling it with oil. I'm draining one of the forks now, and it's not done yet. I'll need to pump that one a bit. Right, so the key point is this bit sounds like that. That means that it's pretty much empty. That's the new oil. That's the old oil. Yeah, you can't really see through it either. So if you wondered why you should go through the bother of actually doing this, then the oil actually does get contaminated and dirty and bad. The forks are all filled with oil now. The process is actually quite simple. You put the forks upright, slide that black plastic spacer in, fill them to 600 millimeters from the top. I made this little dipstick. It's got a notch here and it's 600 mil from there, so you can put that in and see when the level's right. Once you have the level right, you put the spring on, and you can use sort of needle nose pliers or something to pull the dampening rod out through the fork. Once that's out, you just screw the cap on, and once the cap is fully seated, you use your 13mm spanner in between the springs and just ratchet it tight. Once it's tight, you just slide the fork leg back up and you tighten this up. You don't have to tighten this fully up to the specified torque, because you can do that once the forks are in the bite. One of the things you need to check is that this bit here moves, and it moves easily, otherwise the caliper won't work as it should be. That seems to be as far as I want to go. pump them out, and they should come out pretty much to the same rate. And this time I didn't need that piece of wood. They both came out just fine. So as there was a little bit of an issue there, I'm gonna do it once more. Reasonably clean now, and it seems to work just fine. I need to put the fork links back in. The right hand side beside is the one that has got the corrosion from the brake clip, but also it's the one that doesn't have the ABS sensor on. I'm just nipping it shut now because I need to make sure that at the top of the yoke both sides are the right and the same height. So I'll go get the other one, and this is the one that has got the ABS sensor. Sorry, left hand side. Right, so now I'll check that the rings at the top are where they should be. And now it's time for the torque wrench. Because they are pinch bolts and there's 2 bolts per pinch, I've made sure to tighten them to 20 Newton meters several times so that the one doesn't affect the other as much. And as you can see, there was quite a lot of disparity between tightening the first one to tightening the last one. Technically there's a difference between 1 Newton meter between the top and the bottom, but I haven't sharpened my hair splitting tool today, so I left it at 20. And now I can tighten the top bolts. It's time to put everything back together. We'll start with the brake split. As I saw that there was quite a bit of corrosion on this fork leg here, I'm going to apply a little bit of ACF50 around here. Hopefully that should prevent or slow down the corrosion a little bit. Next I'll fit the mud guard, and yes, I did clean it on the inside too. Maybe if I put it the right way around it'll be better.